Ever catch yourself smiling through a conversation while your brain's whispering, "I'm done pretending"? You're there, nodding, engaged, doing your job, but somewhere inside, a quieter part of you is waving a white flag. That split, the version of you that performs versus the one that's real, that's what we're breaking open today. Welcome to The Architect of Self. I'm Gregory. This isn't therapy, it's not treatment. If you need professional help, reach out for it. And if you're in crisis, call or text 988 in the US. This space is raw, direct, and occasionally uncomfortable, but always honest. When people hear neuropsychotherapy, they picture lab coats and clipboards. What it really means is the intersection between your brain, your emotions, and your behavior. How the system running your body learns to protect you, and sometimes how it traps you. Today's topic, the core and the mask. The core is the you or self that exists when nobody is watching. The mask is the identity you wear to survive the world. And somewhere between those two is where most anxiety, depression, and burnout live. Think about the version of you that clocks in every day, the one that keeps your voice even, your hands steady, your smile polite. That's the functional you, the professional, the parent, the partner, the leader. Then think about the you that shows up when the noise dies down, when you're brushing your teeth, driving home, or staring at the ceiling at 11 p.m. That one doesn't lie to you. That's your core. Your core doesn't care about optics or approval. It knows what it feels and what it doesn't. Your mask, on the other hand, is the interface you build to navigate everyone else's expectations. It's necessary. Society runs on masks. But when the mask becomes your identity instead of your armor, your nervous system starts burning itself out. You can feel it, that jaw tension, the shallow breath, the fatigue that no amount of sleep fixes. That's not stress. That's your biology waving a flag. Here's the quick science. Your brain has three major networks constantly trading control. The default mode network, your reflection mode, it builds the story of who you are. The central executive network, the task brain, it focuses, plans, and gets things done. The Salience Network, that's the switchboard. It decides which one takes the wheel. In a healthy balance, they hand off control like good teammates, reflect, act, rest, and repeat. But under constant stress or trauma, that handoff jams. Both networks stay active at once, thinking, performing, bracing, all at the same time. It's like driving with your foot on both the gas and the brake. That's the feeling you call anxiety or burnout. Let me give you an example. And I've used one very similar to this in the past, but it's so important that you understand it. Picture a coworker sitting in traffic, unaware anyone's watching. Their face is blank, exhausted. The moment they see someone they know, boom, instant smile. That switch you just watched, that's the brain shifting from default mode to task mode on command. Most people with chronic anxiety never get that switch to rest again. It just keeps flipping. So if you've been wondering why you're so exhausted for no reason, well, there is a reason. Your brain's doing two jobs at once. The longer the mask runs the show, the more your identity forgets who it was protecting. And that's when your system starts to confuse survival with purpose. You've said it before. I know what I need to do. I just can't get myself to do it. And that's because information doesn't override instinct. Your prefrontal cortex, the logic, language-based part of your brain, runs slowly and carefully. Your amygdala, the emotional alarm system, runs fast and loud. The moment something even feels like a past threat, your amygdala slams the panic button before your prefrontal cortex even loads the facts. You can't talk a fire alarm out of ringing. You have to teach it that smoke doesn't always mean danger. That's what modern neuropsychotherapy really means. Re-educating the body so truth and safety can coexist again. When you speak one honest sentence in a moment, your system wants to hide. When you admit, "I'm not fine," you're not being weak. You're literally sending corrective data through your nervous system. Neurons rewire through repetition and emotion, not information. That's why affirmations fall flat. But small, lived truths actually change you. Try this. Say out loud, "I'm tired, but I still care." Pause here and do that. Say, "I'm tired, but I still care." And then come back. Did you notice how your shoulders dropped a little? That's physiology. Your body recognizing truth as relief. Knowledge doesn't rewire. Experience does. You can't read your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. You have to live your way out of it. And that's the uncomfortable part, because it requires you to confront the identity that's performing recovery instead of practicing it. Let's map out the big three in plain English. The big three being anxiety, depression, and grief. Anxiety is your brain's threat system stuck in the on position. Your amygdala is overactive. The Salience Network won't stop scanning for danger, and your body's main stress hormone, cortisol, never fully resets. It's like your nervous system forgot where the power switch is. Everything becomes a potential danger. Emails, silence, being still. So you keep moving, keep busy. You chase productivity like oxygen, and the world cheers you on for it until you crash. Depression is what happens when the same network gives up. The default mode network gets stuck in rumination, replaying failures, losses, and what ifs. Your executive network, the doer, loses interest. Dopamine, the motivational chemical, flatlines. You're not lazy. You're offline. Your brain is in power save mode, trying to conserve fuel. That's why just get up and do something advice is useless. It's like telling a dead battery to try harder. And then there's grief. Grief is your brain running two realities simultaneously. One says, they're gone. The other keeps them alive in memory, routine, and expectation. The default mode network keeps the story running. The executive network knows the story ended. The Salience Network, the switchboard, flips back and forth like a broken light switch. That's why you reach for the phone to text them, why songs hit out of nowhere, and why you're exhausted for no reason. Your system's burning double energy, maintaining two worlds that don't match anymore. Over time, through ritual, routine, and remembering, your brain learns to merge the maps. It keeps what's real, lets go of what's gone, and writes a new story that includes both. That's healing, not forgetting, re-synchronizing. So if you're grieving and feel like you're losing it, you're not. You're doing hard neurological work that most people don't have the language for. And if you're tired, that's because your brain is literally rewiring its own reality. Let's talk about when the mask takes over. The mask was never the enemy. It was a tool, a temporary identity that helped you function when honesty wasn't safe for you. But tools have to be put down when the job is done. The problem is you kept wearing it so long you forgot it was equipment. Maybe your mask is the strong one. Maybe it's the fixer. Maybe it's the unbothered. All of them work beautifully until they don't. And the moment you feel seen for the mask instead of for the core, you're hooked. You start protecting the mask like it's your life, because socially, it is. But your body knows the difference. Every time you say, no problem, when it's a huge problem, your brain registers a lie. Every time you swallow truth to keep peace, your amygdala logs it as danger. That's why you feel tired even when you rest. You're spending energy holding a mask in place. It's basically cardio for your nervous system, except you don't get the abs. The goal isn't to rip the mask off. It's to teach you when to step aside. When your identity and your core start sharing a language again, your brain finally stands down. Let's talk about rewiring, practical tools that actually stick. Here's where we stop diagnosing, even though we're not diagnosing, more psychoeducation, and start actually rebuilding. Because knowing why you're stuck only matters if you use it to move. You don't rewire a nervous system by reading quotes on Instagram. You rewire it by behaving differently, long enough for your brain to stop flinching at truth. Think of this as a type of exposure therapy for honesty. Let's walk through 5 practical ways to retain your circuitry. Now, before we get started, don't forget, you can pause this podcast at any point where you want to do the exercise real time. Or you can go back to Substack and find this all written out. Either way, you have the resources. Use them. Having the information doesn't do you any good if you don't use it. The first one, the 30-second check-in. Twice a day, morning and night if you can, pause for 30 seconds. No phone, no multitasking. Just notice your body, your jaw, shoulders, your breath. Then ask yourself one question. Am I performing right now, or am I present? If you catch yourself performing, don't shame it. Just name it. Naming it moves control from the amygdala back to the prefrontal cortex, the part that organizes reason and self-awareness. That single check-in lowers cortisol faster than most relaxation hacks because it interrupts your autopilot. Number 2, speak one micro truth a day. Say something honest that costs you a little. Not reckless honesty, just a small, inconvenient truth. Maybe, actually, I'm overwhelmed. Or, I don't know how to fix that yet. Or, that comment bothered me. You see, every repetition tells your survival system truth is survivable. Neuropsychotherapy research shows that authenticity paired with safety rewires fear circuits. Translation: the more honest you are without the world ending, the calmer your amygdala becomes next time. Number 3, limit the mental spin. When your thoughts loop like a broken record, give the loop a container. Set a 10-minute timer and brain dump everything onto paper. When time's up, stand, stretch, walk, change rooms. You're teaching your Salience Network, the brain's attention switch, that reflection has an off switch. This trains flexibility, the ability to toggle between the inner world and the outer world without burning out. Number 4, move your body before you move your mind. If you're spiraling, move, walk, stretch, cold water, deep exhale longer than an inhale. You see, long exhales stimulate the vagus nerve, which is the body's main calm down highway. And then that signals the limbic system that you're safe. Here's the truth. Motion rewires emotion faster than reasoning does. If you wait to feel ready before you move, you'll never move. And number 5, end the day with alignment. Before bed, ask yourself, where did my mask weigh more than my truth today? Think about one honest line, no judgment. That's behavioral reflection, teaching your default mode network that self-evaluation isn't punishment, it's maintenance. Over time, that question rewires self-talk from what's wrong with me to what do I need to realign? The truth? You don't need a new personality. You just need to stop gaslighting yourself with I'm fine. Now let's talk about the bridge back to yourself. Here's the thing most therapy misses. You're not chasing happiness. You're chasing alignment. When who you are in public finally matches who you are in private, your brain stops wasting energy on a disguise. That's the bridge between knowing better and living better. Alignment doesn't arrive through insight. It's built through micro corrections. Picture two overlapping circles, a core and a mask. Your job isn't to erase one, it's to bring them into an overlap. Every truthful conversation, every boundary honored, every time you rest without guilt, those are planks across that bridge. The neuroscience translation, you're strengthening connectivity between the prefrontal cortex, rational control, and the limbic system, emotion. Each alignment rep calms the body's alarm faster next time. Let's make it simple. Identify one fracture between your core and your mask. Think about it for a sec. Maybe you act confident but feel terrified. Maybe you play peacekeeper while resentment chews holes in your stomach. Take one small action that overlaps them, something that proves you can be both safe and real. That's the integration. That's neuropsychotherapy without the jargon. Another way to think of it is like this. If somebody asks you how you're doing and your default is, I'm fine, when you're a shit show in the background, be truthful. You don't have to dump. That's not the idea, but be truthful. Somebody asks you how you're doing, you're like, well, I'm struggling a bit, but I'm keeping things together. Thanks for asking. You're not dumping. You're being realistic. And that's alignment. That's moving the overlap. Let's talk about real-world conflicts in the brain's humor. And let's lighten it up for a sec, because the brain loves irony. Your mind will convince you that chaos equals control, that working until 11 p.m. is noble, that guilt means you care, and that resting is lazy. It's lying. That's not morality. That's dopamine withdrawal. Your reward system fires on approval hits, not truth. So when you start living aligned and the applause drops off, your brain freaks out like it's quitting caffeine. Withdrawal from people-pleasing, it's a real biochemical thing. You'll crave validation the way a smoker craves a lighter. Riding it out, the craving fades faster than you think. When your brain stops expecting external reward for internal integrity, that's emotional maturity. So yeah, expect discomfort. Growth doesn't feel like clarity. It feels like confusion with better posture. The neurological why behind change. Let's take a minute and geek out. Plain language. Change feels painful because your brain encodes safety in familiarity, not goodness. Anything new, even healthy, is flagged as a threat until proven otherwise. So when you start telling the truth, setting boundaries, or resting for real, your brain registers it as danger. That's why progress feels wrong at first. You're literally reteaching the amygdala what is safe. Each small, honest act is a neural explosion. Fear equals truth equals no catastrophe. Safety's logged. Do that long enough and your threat threshold recalibrates. That's when anxiety dips and energy returns. Not because life got easier, but because your nervous system stopped bracing for it. Let's identify the aftershock, which is when alignment starts actually working. Here's the twist nobody's going to tell you. When you finally start living aligned, some people around you will get uncomfortable. They were fluent in the old version of you, the fixer, the pleaser, the quiet one. When you stop performing, they lose their script. Some will try to guilt you back into that costume. That's not proof you're wrong. It's proof the system noticed the update. It's like you just changed the Wi-Fi password and everybody's mad because their devices won't connect. Keep the new password. The ones meant to stay will ask for it politely. So if your world shakes when you start aligning good, it means the foundation's finally real. Now I want to take a second and do a guided reflection. If you're listening somewhere safe, I want you to take a moment. I want you to close your eyes, unless you're driving, obviously. But I want you to picture your mask. See what it looks like. How it feels to wear. Now imagine setting it on the table in front of you. Do you notice the weight that leaves your shoulders? That gap between who you pretend to be and who you actually are. That's the space you're about to reclaim. Now take a slow breath in through your nose. I want you to exhale longer than you inhale. That's not the whoo. That's the vagal tone training. Your nervous system just registered safety. Okay, back to the fight. As we wrap this up, let's have a reflection. Anxiety, depression, grief, addiction, they're not moral failings. They're messages from the body saying, this version of life isn't sustainable. Your system isn't trying to ruin you. It's trying to reroute you. The mask kept you alive, but now it's costing you aliveness. Here's the truth I want you to walk away with today. You can't keep outsourcing identity to the things that can be taken away. Jobs end, relationships shift, status changes. What's left is real. The core isn't glamorous, it's grounded. It's the you that holds the line when nobody's clapping. And when the core and the mask finally integrate, the war inside you ends. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped fighting yourself. If this episode hit, share it. That small action might be what helps someone else finally put words to the noise in their head. If you want to find out more about me and what I offer, from speaking, identity and interventions, organizational leadership training, and learning modules, to the theories I'm developing for research, visit carlhgregory.com. You can message me directly there or DM me on Insta at carlhgregory. And if you like to absorb by reading, the blog mirrors these podcasts with deeper dives. Remember, you're not your titles. You're not your props. You are what you do when the lights are off. So go live aligned and stay in the fight.